Now let us talk about FPGA boards. All chips, including FPGA, need a printed circuit board with all components integrated to make them functional. A raw FPGA by itself, you cannot implement any design. It has to be in a PCB board. So, how to create these PCB boards? It is a tedious process. You have to write schematic design with all components designed, and then you need to place and route them. You need to close all signal integrity related issues, and finally you need to send the design to fabrication house, get it back, and then test it. So building a PCB board is not a small task. It itself has a lot of complexities, but it is not as complex as a chip design, but still it takes time and effort. So instead of that, what you can do is you can buy some general purpose PCB boards with the FPGAs integrated already. So that is the easiest way you can prototype your design. So there are for each FPGA from vendors, there are evaluation boards available in the market. Sometimes the FPGA vendor like Xilinx, Altera, or Microchips, they design evaluation boards, or they call it as reference design kits for the FPGAs they release. For each family of FPGAs, they have these evaluation kits. And sometimes their partners or external companies who target these FPGA devices, the new release of these FPGA devices, and they make these general purpose reference boards. So as a designer, you can buy these FPGA boards and implement your FPGA designs. So that way you don't need to build the boards, because you are not too sure about your final design. So you can simply buy these prototype boards or evaluation boards and make your own FPGA designs. Here you are not focusing on the boards, instead you are focusing on your designs. When you design a circuit using this kind of evaluation boards, you need to ensure that the boards you buy from the market, it has all the type of flexibilities you need. For example, you may need a certain type of oscillators on the board, certain type of connectors on the board, because for example you might want to connect your FPGA to an external camera. So you need to ensure that you have the right kind of camera interface inside your board, and also you may need some ADCs integrated in the board, or there are several kind of design needs you have. So when you purchase an evaluation kit from the market, you'll ensure that there are enough kind of hooks there in the prototype board for you to play. So that is an important aspect of selecting an evaluation board. But once you test your FPGA, you bought the FPGA or bought this evaluation kit, you tested your FPGA, and once you are very comfortable with your design after validation, you will go for the product board design. That means you are going to the final deployment board. Here you will be too conscious about your cost. So you will select a PCB which is low cost, and you will put only the components which are essential for your product. That is how you save cost for your product. But when you prototype, you may not bother that much. Still, you will be worried about cost. But in a prototype phase, you will need a lot of flexibility. So these are the things you should take care when you selecting FPGA boards and finally design a product out of it. Most of the cases for you as students, you may not look for a product design. You will mostly look for something you can quickly implement and test it in your lab. So evaluation kits are good choices for students. But when you think about your final product, you may have to think about designing your own PCB and get it fabricated. And There are several board makers. As I mentioned, the FPGA vendors like Xilinx, Altera, they develop their own prototype boards, and you can buy prototype boards from other design houses also, like Digilent, and there are several varieties of boards in the market, starting from very low cost FPGA boards to extremely like expensive, like it costs multiple lakhs of rupees to buy those boards. So there are wide range of FPGA boards available in the market, so you may have to pick the right board for your design need.